We filmed this on a shit webcam because my camera is sick. Welcome to the Boisterous Brothers. I'm George Rockall-Schmidt here, as always, with Damian Benedict. How are you doing today, fella?
Cosmic.
Did I say fella or favela?
Effervescent.
Political. Effervescent.
Effervescent. My God, man.
Reminiscent. Complicit. Hey, I heard some people say compromise, but they pronounce it compromise.
That's bullshit, right? You just have me on.
No.
I've never heard.
No.
I've kind of said that in my head when I'm spelling it out.
Oh my God, well that's retarded. No,
but I've always known better. I've always known what the word is.
No, they say we'll make a compromise, but if they compromise with you, it's a compromise.
What?
Yeah, anyway, we always start with an anecdote, and your anecdote has nothing to do with that word, does it?
No, not at all.
Because you are an uncompromising drinker.
Yes. So this is.
I mean, I should say before you start as well, we're incredibly hungover still.
Yeah, particularly yesterday when I thought I would tell this story, I was hanging right out of my arse.
Well, we didn't drink that much.
No, but I'm not bouncing back like I used to. I'm becoming an old man.
Yeah, older man.
Yes. So this was. I would say the story's a bit generous because my memory is very spotty. But so the last time I hung out with this a guy that we didn't mention on the podcast before.
He was one of the twins.
Yeah.
Let's call him Jack.
Yeah, Jack. It was the last time I ever saw this dude. I went for a drink,
alive.
Just me and him. And it was a point
which is so weird because you guys didn't like each other.
It was after our A levels, so about 18 cents, some shit like that. I think it was during the summer holidays, and he just called me up out of the blue. First time he'd spoken to me in months, out of the blue, and surprisingly very friendly. Because at that point we'd been taking so many pot shots at this dude for so long. It was kind of. Well, I assumed the friendship was dead, but he called out the blue and he was very kind of happy, kind of very friendly. Sorry, and I had nothing better to do, so I thought, fine.
Was he drunk?
No, not at first.
You see, that would have concerned me. Didn't you have a voice singing "It's a trap"?
No, not that. I was too young for that.
Yeah, right. Too young for. I was going to say episode 2. Jesus, for The Empire Strikes Back, my favourite Star Trek.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Subscribe. So yeah, he called you up.
So yeah, we arranged. It was just a little pub crawl around the little town that we used to live in, and for it's quite a small town, it had a lot of pubs because
it's England.
And it was an inherently miserable village apparently.
Yeah.
But we got absolutely fucking shit-faced. I remember for whatever reason it was Thursday. We went in this one pub. And it was last orders was 10 o'clock, which was just kind of bad.
10 o'clock?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very sleepy village, and again, it was a weekday. Remember at that time, I worked for the only pub that had a late license. That
would close at 1:30.
No, it was 2:30, 3, something stupid like that. But it was the only one.
Yeah, but it would stop letting people in at 1:30.
Yeah.
I know. That's where we met. We were 14.
And so we thought we'd make a go of it, but seeing as we were both quite surprised that at 10 o'clock we'd be done, so we kept getting these double whiskies in over and over and again. I think we had 5 each, and it got to a point where even though we felt fine because we simply just demolished it in 5 minutes, whatever. The bar.
You had how many whiskies?
5 double whiskies, something like that.
One after the other.
Yeah.
And how much do you think there would actually be in terms of quarts and litres and fathoms and gallons and...
I'd say about 3 litres of whiskey.
3 litres of whiskey, yeah.
And then after that, we felt fine at the time, and the barman said no. My barman said no, for the sake of your sanity, that's enough. Get out.
So he couldn't give you 6. He had to cut it off at 5 because 6 would have been a much better number.
Yeah, no. I mean, as anal as I am, I would prefer to round a number, but I don't know, something's all right with 5, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a man would have done 20.
Yeah,
or something.
But
a double, right? Yeah. So they were in shot glasses.
No, they're in tumblers like these. type thing, and it was essentially like half the glass or some shit like that.
Don't touch my tumbler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
See, tumbler. I'm just thinking of the word revolver now. And everything. It should have been 6. It's like you had 1 bullet left in the chamber for yourself, or something.
Well, I'm very sorry.
So, okay, get on with this story then. You got drunk.
Yes, got absolutely pissed. And ended up crashing up at his place because his parents were out of town. He had the house to himself, and he was convinced he had like more beer there. So off we went.
And he didn't, did he?
No. By the time
he just had a feather duster.
It was quite a long walk, and halfway there is like when it really fucking hit, and we were absolutely fucking pelted.
I imagine.
And I do remember. The only thing I really remember at the journey there is at one point he climbed on the hood of a car because he was like this fucking eco wannabe freak dick nut type guy, and he just was seeing
not one of them dick nuts.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And he's like started fucking. I don't know if he was trying to incite some kind of protest at like fucking 10:30 or something. But I remember him being on this fucking car, being mouthy but completely incomprehensible.
Right.
And I kind of had to drag him along. But no, we get to his house. There is no booze. The only thing he has is magic mushrooms, and I thought, fuck that, because I am absolutely toasted. I was kind of only looking for water.
Yeah.
He goes for it, and I don't know if I just kind of settle down, maybe put some TV on, but within half an hour, I see him in the kitchen. He's keeled over on the floor with his toaster clutched to his chest, trying to knife one of the kitchen cupboards. So I thought, fine, that's it. I'm just going to go.
No one ever says it, but it's always the white appliances that get it first.
I must have been fucking ailing at this point. I go down to like lie down, and at first I remember like crashing on his bed at first, and then the room's fucking spinning, and then I have to bolt to the bathroom to throw up.
Hey, right.
And I do remember like it was everything that could possibly have been in me.
Right.
Came out.
Right.
With my head in that toilet.
Your body was like, I have to do this, otherwise we'll die.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. And that's the last thing I remember until the next morning.
When you woke up with the feather duster, the French-made uniform.
Yes,
that's got to be his motive.
Firmly entrenched up my bottom.
A uniform up your bottom. And another, you actually dressed as a fireman, but you had a French-made uniform up your bottom.
Yeah. Knickers first, of course. That'd be the hardest. You still have to work for it.
Why would the knickers be the hardest?
Well, because they'd be first up there. As the smallest garment.
Yeah, but right, I understand. Why would they be the first up there?
It's just what happened, all right?
No, okay. No, because, right, you've got to think about retrieving, right? You want the big thing up there because you can get a better hold of that because that'll be deeper in.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't think this through.
Right.
That's why that went off first. And
I had to
like.
That's how Damian. He stuck a French-made uniform up his bottom the wrong way round.
Yes, I had to wait for it to pass naturally.
Yeah.
It was 3 months.
Right.
A lot of bleeding.
Yeah, God.
The last thing I remember was with my head in the toilet. But
Did you get it dry cleaned? Sorry, go on.
The next thing, I'm waking up in bed, and it wasn't the bed that I was originally crashing out in his room, which I kind of had
you remember being there, yeah, right?
Yeah, but no, I was in his parents' bedroom,
right?
In his parents' bed,
right?
And again, just to clarify, the parents were away for whatever reason this weekend, and I roll over. Like this was the worst hangover I've ever had as well. I roll over to find what is the equivalent of like half my body length in vomit on the pillow.
Yeah.
And the side of the bed next to me.
Right.
Again, and I think, oh shit, what's going to happen here? And then I just kind of keel up, walk up and around, and not only have I got that puddle of vomit there, but there's also a nice tidy trail going out of the door all the way straight from the bathroom. I was convinced that everything came out of me in that fucking toilet, and I blacked out, and I apparently crawled to the closest bed.
Still vomiting?
Yeah. Obviously just pouring out.
And like, what was the state of your knees? I mean, were you like vomiting and crawling forward? Or because when you said it first,
it was sporadic. It was like blah blah blah.
Right.
I imagine I was crawling. I don't imagine I was actually. If that was happening, there's no way I'd been vertical.
Yeah. Right.
And I. Jack was just coming to downstairs. He never made it upstairs at all. And again, still hugging that fucking toaster.
He was still hugging the toaster.
Oh god, yeah.
And this was like 8 hours after or something.
Yeah, he was
like fucked.
Whatever happened in his head must have been fucking terrifying.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, he just kind of. I had to fess up about what happened, but I also knew that I had somewhere to be that day. It's like, yeah, I'm like really sorry.
And when you say you had somewhere to be, you mean you were getting married that day, right?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. And yeah, just kind of, just kind of sloped off, fucked off.
And that's the last time you ever saw him?
That's the last time I ever saw or heard from that guy ever again.
He never called you. Why? I mean...
Who could imagine? I don't know.
But, it's not as if, you did that. I mean, he can clean up vomit. How is he going to explain the dead toaster?
Yeah, it was just an empty, hollow casing at that point.
Well, I don't know. You said that he was like, really kind of ramming a knife into it. When you say ramming a knife, I mean, I imagine...
No, he was holding the toaster, almost like he was protecting it. He was just at a kitchen cupboard.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
So he was protecting the toast. Well, that's all right then. He saved the toaster.
Yeah.
His parents will have come home and seen him like that and said, oh, good for you, Jack.
I think more than like the state of the sheets that he will have had to have laundered and won't have been able to get those fucking stains out. For whatever reason, I had a very rich, like, tomatoey casserole the night before, so it was fucking bright orange, this vomit. I mean, I saw the chunks of carrot in it, it had barely been fucking digested. It was, I threw everything out of my body as quickly as possible. But more so than that was that the magic mushrooms that he got fucked on was the stuff that his mum would grow.
Right. So he got fucked on his mum's magic mushrooms.
Yeah. And I think what he really had to pay for is having to explain where her stash has gone.
Yeah, right. They're pretty easy to grow, I think, so, But, yeah, I imagine she didn't have a greenhouse. Well, on that terrible note, time for the news.
Hello, the Boisterous Brothers. This week, NASA discovered 7 Earth-like planets we'll never be able to visit. Mars, Venus, Bashful, and the rest. Nothing happened in Sweden, and the life expectancy for women in South Korea was announced to be set to rise above 90, making it an ever more lucrative place to start a business selling lavender soap, adult diapers, and the argument for an orchestrated flu pandemic. Back to you in your blurry studio.
Curiously, when Frasier puts in a mere 3 years of work, Crane City decides to celebrate with Frasier Crane Crane City Day. A foolish endeavour. Frasier's ego is already dangerously overinflated. After this news, we simply follow Frasier as he walks to the park where the city will smarty party. That's it. And Frasier even bums this right up. He mugs a blind man so he can ride the train. Someone pays Frasier a compliment and his head expands to a critically dangerous size. He is trapped on the train. Frasier, deservedly, misses the party.
Before we get into talking about this Frasier that you've just described, we were just talking about in the last segment becoming an old man, like you can't recover and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that, I think I've got a fairly good shot. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I think, if I keep myself a bit trim and everything, I could be someone that someone once refers to as a handsome older gentleman. And that is my one shot at being handsome when I am old, but I still look all right for my age. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, life goals. Fucking get in.
That's right.
Nice one.
Can you think of any handsomer older gentlemen? I'd say... what would you say Frasier's dad is handsome?
Well, they kind of really bill him out to be, but he always looked like a really crusty, saggy old dude to me.
Right, okay. Well, okay, there you go. So that Frasier was Frasier's 1000th episode.
Mm-hmm.
And?
Well, there's nothing really to kind of talk about. I mean, for me, it was like the first really kind of crap episode of Frasier. I think it's season 5. And I think they do this because it's also the 100th episode of the show Frasier.
Right.
And they just do this fucking bit where...
And, right, so Frasier's 1000th episode in Frasierland.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because he's a radio DJ.
Mm-hmm.
So 1000th episode, I mean, surely that means he's been on for like 2.5 years, 3 years.
Yeah, something like that.
That's not an accomplishment. I mean, not really. There must be loads of shitty DJs.
Well, I don't know. When it comes to the politics in that fucking show, it just seems that they fire personalities left, right, and centre.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So I think like Frasier is for the better part of the show is always like going nuts with the sword of Damocles over his head because his career, he has no job security whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's only got to that point, not because he's any good. I mean, he proves time and time again he is completely incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
Not only incompetent,
But
unbelievably
also,
untrustworthy. He's got there not through talent, but through like Machiavellian ruthlessness.
yeah, I mean, there's a whole like kind of underplot where he's blackmailing people, particularly the station masters, because he's always embroiled in scandal and like, is seemingly never brought to bear for any of it.
Yeah, he's having people killed off all the time. Okay, so that's the first episode of Frasier that you think wasn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started to get bad, and you would still get good ones, but then more and more of them would be bad.
Yeah, it became consistently bad.
But when did it become consistently bad?
I'd say the end of season 6 when Daphne and Niles hook up finally.
Yeah, because that takes all the tension out of it. You've ruined it now. People.
Sorry, spoilers. Sorry if you didn't realise.
You can't say it after it fucking happened.
I mean, that's like 16 years ago.
He's Luke's father. Oh, sorry, no spoilers. It doesn't matter if it's 16 years. People could be finding Frasier today and thinking, "Oh, that looks nice."
I think I'm doing a very good job of keeping people away from Frasier.
Yeah, I think you are. Away from us as well. So this happens with everything that gets to a certain age, right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes shit.
Yeah.
Welcome to season 5 of the Boisterous Brothers. That'll happen way before then.
Yeah, and we just sat around playing crayons. It's complete silence, you know.
But we've built up the audience, so we can do anything.
Like, I like these a lot because I remember when I was a kid, I'd be at the back of my class and be melting these on the radiator.
Well, I never did that. That's pretty interesting. And then you would like get high off them, and then like in a minute, the camera's going to click shut, and that click is going to bring you back then, and all of this is going to be absolute bullshit. Not only did you never meet me, you've never left 3rd grade or whatever it was. The sky is purple.
Oh, what an existential nightmare that would be.
But it would be wonderful because you'd have so much knowledge.
And, yes.
So much street knowledge.
Incredible youth again as well.
Oh, God, yeah, that does make me sad. Jesus Christ. Well, Frasier's 60, so fuck him.
God, yeah, he is. Fucking hell.
So does this happen to everything?
Yep, everything.
Can you think of something that has
the only thing it doesn't happen to is
the
TV
news.
shows which are all shit from the beginning, I suppose.
They can only get better.
But they choose not to.
They choose not to, yeah. I mean, they can. Everyone knows they can. It's a moral thing of choosing not to. Well, I mean, we talk about The Simpsons a lot.
Yeah.
The Simpsons lasted a long time.
Yeah, Simpsons, I would say, had the best run, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean,
season 9?
Yeah,
season
I'd say
10?
double digits when it...
Yeah. I think there's still a few in season 11 which are okay.
And weirdly enough, with The Simpsons, I always felt, and I got the impression from other people, is that it really hit its stride in like season 7 as well, which is quite late.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always think that as well, but then I watch a really early one and I kind of think, wow, that's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched like the first 2 seasons in God knows how long.
Season 1's a bit rapey, yeah, when Smithers was black.
Yeah.
And Mo had blue hair. You know, before they got old. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, one thing that's not happened to is Family Guy, because Family Guy was always shit. Mm-hmm. But I still watch it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well,
it's been very consistent.
Yeah. You can always kind of, I won't say bank on it, but you know what you're kind of getting with that kind of stuff. But the most heartbreaking one was South Park.
Yeah, because they knew, they were clever enough to know that this is what happened to shows, and they mocked shows for this happening.
Yeah, and they've done it themselves, and they've done it so much harder as well. I feel.
Yeah. I mean, South Park is utterly unwatchable now, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the first 4 seasons were brilliant. Mm-hmm. They were so funny.
And you had still, I mean, they
did
quite...
Whoa.
And now that I've learned to communicate...
Every time I do wah, it makes Damian say those lines.
The world is not so cold and dark.
So what you were saying?
Whoa. Yes.
Whoa. Come on, you're compelled.
I know.
You see?
It was like fucking conditioning off for a while.
Like if ever I was in school and I didn't know where Damian was, I'd go whoa.
And if you listen carefully, even though it was like a mile away. I mean, definitely those first 4 seasons were dynamite. it was kind of quite spotty after a while. But I mean, we watched like something from. I mean, you had a lot of good episodes up until about season 8, 9, something like that.
Yeah.
But then we watched something from season 20, and it's fucking shocking seeing it's that old now as well.
Yeah, right.
Because of those cartoons, it was always, in my mind, for whatever reason, the youngest one.
Yeah, was it younger than Family Guy?
Well,
No, I think Family Guy was younger.
yeah.
I think Family Guy was like 1999 or something.
Yeah, it was.
South
yeah,
Park was
yeah.
like 96, 97.
Yeah, something like that. I don't say. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just what's always
Yeah,
kind of
right.
my image of it in my head, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, like everything that they were ever taking the piss out of, with the 4 boys as well. Like all the people they kind of point their fingers at. They were those characters now.
Yeah.
They were just not whining about. They're almost celebrating Twitter, Instagram, and online gaming and shit like that. And it was just
Yeah. Yeah, well, the one for me is the whole thing, the two-parter that they do, where they expose how Family Guy is made, and it's made by manatees who are randomly selecting fragments of sentences.
Yeah.
And it's it's like Peter goes to the aquarium, flashback Abraham Lincoln or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and that's exactly how Family Guy is. It's very formulaic. The jokes don't matter at all. I think Family Guy can be quite funny, but I'd much rather watch Family Guy now than a new South Park.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have been watching it.
I mean, it is awful because South Park was so good, and never mind. What about Bob's Burgers?
Yeah, that was good for like 20 minutes.
That was good for 4 seasons.
Yeah. Oh well,
3.5.
Yeah, I'd say 3. I never.
2.
1. There was one.
There was one episode
the
we
pilot
really
was
liked.
fucking dynamite. Yeah. I never really watched season 4 because at that point you were all. I could see when you would talk about it, your fucking blood would boil. I'm just like, all right, let's just veer away from that.
Oh, you're talking about
Bob's Burgers?
Yeah, 'cause I really liked it. Do you think that we're just being kind of crotchety hipsters? Like, oh yeah, I liked it before it was mainstream.
No, we liked it when it was good. It's very different.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, people talk about Fawlty Towers being good because it didn't last as long as other things. There's only 12 episodes, and I definitely agree. I kind of feel like they covered everything they could do in a hotel without kind of making it absurd.
Yeah.
Maybe they probably could have done 18, right? But I think it's much better that they didn't, and they didn't have that shit episode.
Yeah, and they'd have to start introducing new characters and shit like that.
Yeah, right. I mean,
to the main cast rather than just the ancillary shit.
I mean, Bob's Burgers. And if you don't know what Bob's Burgers is, it's a cartoon that was originally for adults. It was you could watch it as a kid, I'm sure, and get it, but it was definitely aimed at adults, I thought.
Yeah, totally.
About a guy who owns a shitty burger restaurant that his family run, and it never is working. Right, it's a sitcom basically, but it's a cartoon, and it progressively got more and more kiddie and kid friendly, and not just that, absurd. Like, not all of the original episodes were like down to earth for sure, but it was always stuff like Bob gets stuck in the wall cavity, things like that, or Bob forgets to buy his wife a present for her anniversary, or things like that. And then it starts taking it to these kind of absurd extremes, which The Simpsons got away with for quite a long time, just because it was so solid writing.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm fairly sure Bob's Burgers have gone to Space Camp by now. I mean, when season 4 came out, it wasn't long after that I saw them starting bringing out the Bob's Burger comic,
right?
Which is definitely just for kids.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, oh damn.
Yeah. Well, The Simpsons went to space. That was an all right one. But yeah,
again, as you say, it had some more solid writing. I watched the episode the other day, and we are our lives this inanimate car and ride. They had that ticker tape parade.
Yeah,
genius.
And it certainly isn't just cartoons or anything like that. It's everything. Everything decays. I mean, Peep Show. They said, Peep Show is a bit different because it's stuck around. Peep Show is a British sitcom, which was very, very good in the beginning. They planned to finish it at season 4, and then they kept making them, even though they pretty much tied an amazing bow on it at the end of season 4, right? It ends exactly how it starts. the very last episode begins the same way the very first episode begins. Then like they just kept making it, and you can tell they don't know where to go. It's just about making the moolah.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, David Mitchell has a lot of appearances on TV, and fuck knows, a few columns in The Guardian.
Yeah.
But I don't see Robert Webb doing too much.
Join Hieronymus Swash and Mau Mau on an exciting adventure in Moonswasher.
This place is weird. It's just full of men.
It's a working man's club.
Ugh. Too many dicks on the dance floor, if you ask me. And Toms and Harrys.
It does have a weird vibe.
Yes, like one of those places that has no door on the toilet stall. And everyone is united with survivor spirit.
Survivor spirit?
Yes, you know. Like, you've seen there's no door on that stall? Yeah, me too. Unspoken camaraderie.
I see.
Alright, let's go to the bar. Barkeep, 2 of your local alcoholic drinks.
Sure thing. 2 rosy danders coming up.
Rosy dandies? What do you take us for?
Cops?
Cops? We're not cops. I'm Hieronymus Swash, Private Dick.
What does a private dick want here?
Nothing. Just going for a drink.
Oh, yes.
Do you happen to know a Trayvon Thunderbrot?
Ah, yes. He comes in here sometimes, but I don't know him. Here you are.
Could be poison, Mau. Here, take a drink.
Try it. You'll like it.
Alright, I'll... That is good. Like an angel taking me in her pearl mandibles and sucking my brain out of my nose while I sit on a malfunctioning massage chair and listen to Rachmaninoff and his magic band.
You're not selling it, boss.
It's delicious, Mau. Delicious!
Are you okay?
Oh yes, I'm just swell. I'm absolutely swell.
Oh, yes, well. Bottoms up.
Very good, sir. No charge.
Well, that's just swell.
Yes, excuse me. I'll be back. So,
These 2 guys are private detectives.
Oh, really? Oh yes, and that's just swell.
yes, swell.
What should we do with them?
Send them up there. Let the guys there figure it out. I'll take them to the truck. Follow me. Go on, get on the truck.
Oh, Mau. The truck's full of other swell chaps.
Sit down then.
All right, everyone, pay attention. My name is Lieutenant M. Bucket. Great news, you're only going on a journey most would dream of.
Hooray! Hey, Mau.
Except for you 2. We'll work out what to do with you when we get to where we're going.
Aww.
Now, you're all a little mesmerised at the moment, but when we start our journey proper, that's when we'll give you your training. All you need to do is be open and don't try to resist, and you'll be fine. Looks like we're here. Everyone off.
Look, boss, a rocket.
Oh, how swell.
Oh, for God's sake, snap out of it, man.
What are you talking about, Mau? This is swell.
Everyone on the rocket.
Boss, you need to snap out of it. They're going to try and program us like Trayvon Thunderbrot when we're on, and it will be even harder to come out of it then.
Hush, Mau. The man is speaking.
Come on, everyone on. That's right. Strap yourself in, fellas.
10, 9,
Boss, wake up.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Everyone hold on. Next stop, the moon.
2, 1.
Join us next time for another exciting episode of Moonswasher.
You 2 made my video darker.
This one's called Kangaroo Kick. He washes his hands in the sink as he smiles at his own ashen reflection. Behind him, a self-portrait, a glimpse in the mirror of a wobbleboard. Can you tell who it is yet? He's out tomorrow, and he's had a good time of it too. He's only had to suck a couple of cocks, and his arse was too saggy for anyone to fuck. He combs his hair and thinks about how truly lucky he has been, almost as if he's been protected by God. He says goodbye to his cellmates at breakfast. He'll be out tomorrow, by this time. He packs his belongings into a small duffel bag, given to him by his daughter. Last evening inside. But then, the light behind him vanishes, completely blocked out. In his cell are 5 other prisoners. They kill him,
And that was sent in by Annika in Bracknell. Thank you for that, Annika.
So before we went away and then came back,
Mysteriously, unexplained.
I was saying that everything turns to shit,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's
including
called.
your dead parents
Yes, it's called life.
and
Um,
death. It's
yeah.
called marriage.
It's called Liffy Death.
Lith-
All right, it's one word, and it's a soft F.
Surely it would be lith. You're gonna conjoin those two words.
Leth.
Leth. Leth. So, can you think of anything that doesn't turn to shit?
I have
Air. Air's pretty good.
All right, so we're talking chemically now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, I imagine the next time I open my Peep Show box set, that sounds weird.
Yeah,
See-
you don't get those fucking things anymore, do you?
No, season 1 to 4 will be pristine, and season 5 will be this brown mush.
Oh. Yeah, because it's not like the discs, even though they're plastic, you'd think they keep for a while. They don't simply just like turn to dust. They turn to actual
Shit.
feces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actual feces.
Well, the case
That's a cross between feces and species.
the poo people.
No,
child.
this is just going to get on to you talking about why some people can't have children because they're feces.
That's when you have a butt baby. Oh, we're trying our hardest. Oh my dick!
Oh, did you just say "oh my dick"?
Oh my dick!
Oh my fuck!
I don't know what I was probably going to say. Oh my days, but then I'd have to give myself a bit of a slap for that one.
Yeah,
So I just cut it off at the pass. And it sounded like oh my
cut
dick.
it off where?
At the pass.
You said past.
At the past.
Yeah,
I was talking to my mouth.
that explains everything.
Yes.
So what doesn't get shit? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, no, I haven't seen or watched anything that hasn't gotten crap.
You know what goes the opposite though? Oh yeah, we're still talking about watching stuff. I was going to talk about history. Because
You're talking about civilization. That nope, that's turned to shit as well.
Yeah, I think so. But if you look at people like Genghis Khan, if Genghis Khan had been around 50 years ago, he'd be worse than Hitler. But everyone talks about him. They put him in their movies. They have him, whoring about and drinking from a horn because they don't know their fucking history. And
Or they're
everything.
fucking around on a skateboard, wearing some
Yeah.
football helmet.
Going to a mall, smacking things up. Yes, there's only one film I can think of with Genghis Khan in it too.
I'm going to be even worse. That's the only movie I know with Napoleon Bonaparte in it.
I think you consider Napoleon Dynamite then. Yeah, I don't know. I think that everything has a shelf life, and that isn't a bad thing. You just got to have the integrity and the balls to say, well, this may be the most successful thing I'll ever do, and maybe cutting it off now will actually plummet me into obscurity again, but fuck it, I'm not a sellout whore bastard shit face.
Yeah, I'm sure the artists have got quite a bit to do with it, but in my mind it was always like the production companies and stuff. I figured these guys like sign contracts for fucking years.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
I'm fairly sure like a lot of the people involved with The Simpsons must have signed a contract that locks them in for a long fucking time. Because I'm
Especially now, yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised like some of the cast have not kind of wanted to fuck off and do other things.
Yeah, right, I bet they do. I don't know, maybe Dan Castellaneta, maybe he's got his eye on a small African country that he's going to buy and militarize. I mean, he is going to be, the person we remember from this century, and it's nothing to do with Homer Simpson. Right?
Yeah, because like The Simpsons actually comes to life and he actually buys Cuba.
The Simpsons comes to life. You mean like they start like coming out of the TV or something? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And now, right, okay, yeah. But he is Homer Simpson as well. Like Homer Simpson kind of like eats him, and Dan Castellaneta, whatever his name is, takes over his brain. Or something, I don't know.
No, I just see like Dan Castellaneta, Daniel, Homer Man.
Castellaneta Leibovitz.
Yeah, they finally kind of like let him out of his contract when he gets like severe like yellow fever. He's incredibly jaundiced, but he looks like Homer Simpson.
Yeah, because
when
he's
he
so
leaves.
obese as well. He looks like Homer Simpson. Jesus Christ.
And because of his weakened state, he has this breakdown, and he can no longer
Yeah, but you would think that, not for everyone, but for most people, there's a limit to how much money you actually want. And I don't think that these people are necessarily any less for what they're doing, but I do think it's time to fuck off.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand how that kind of work has been valued so highly, really.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people think it's dirge now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not so much that, it's just they're on a roll, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to stop until, well, like you said once when you said something clever, one of them is going to die.
Mm.
Or, somehow 1 year The Simpsons isn't going to make a lot of money, and it'll be cheaper to make, Modern Family season 15.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that it was going to fucking. I also heard. I originally heard it was going to stop at season 20, but then it was like 30 after that, and they've been renewed for like 2 more seasons after that now.
So 32.
Yeah, at least. Right. I mean, like some of the cast members have literally started dying now, and like Harry Shearer's like pushing 80 or something stupid. I mean,
yeah, right.
How far can they expect it to go, man?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I reckon it's going to be like the Looney Tunes, and they just say, much like when Mel Blanc died, they found anyone and everyone to fucking do impressions of those characters. And
yeah,
I think that's good.
You probably don't even need it though. You probably can, there must be some software now that can replicate people's voices.
Mm-hmm. Even if that isn't up to fucking scratch, I'm fairly sure every character of The Simpsons at one point or another has said at least like 60% of the fucking dictionary, right?
I was going to say, just get them to write the next 100 seasons and just get them to do it all in a couple of days. Very much like Boisterous. Well, on that note, thank you very much for watching the Boisterous Brothers, or indeed listening to us. If you're not watching this, you can watch us on YouTube, where you will see an extremely poor quality webcam video. It's usually much better. It's usually full HD, and not in a lossy format. Actually,
I don't know what a lossy format is.
It's in a very lossy format. Never mind. But also, if you want to download this or any other of our podcasts, you can go over to SoundCloud. The link is below. You can download it for free. Anything else to add, Damian?
Reviews on Stitcher and iTunes, please. They're always very helpful. Bye-bye.